Good evening, race fans. Happy Wednesday evening. Here from the last great Coliseum, Bristol, Tennessee, is the site of race number 28 for the Frigidigi Racing League and the final cut race of the round of 16 as these drivers continue their hunt for a championship here on a Wednesday night. But I'm not alone. As usual, I've got my friend and my partner up in the booth with me out here tonight. Arie Heinzman, how are you tonight, my friend?
Doing pretty good. I'm excited for a race under the lights here in Bristol. This is one race that I've had circled for a while. Been looking forward to this one, and it's going to provide a pretty fun test for these drivers, and especially for us up here calling this race. This is also how we're going to cap off the round of 16, first round of the playoffs this year in the Frigidigi Racing League. So lots of storylines, lot to race for.
Yeah, certainly, as these drivers make their way through this half-mile concrete jungle. Next week, we are at the Magic Mile. We're taking a trip up north. Somebody's going to get a lobster out of New Hampshire. Then we take a trip out to Kansas before we finally end the round of 12 with some road course racing at the Charlotte Roval.
That we do, and the Charlotte Roval is one of the more unique challenges on the schedule for sure. So another great way to round out a round in the playoffs. But as we turn our attention to practice here as everything's wrapping up, we've got about 6 minutes remaining, and Brad Holmes sits P1.
Brad Holmes currently top of the board, but the driver who's been making storylines out here the past couple of weeks is Mr. Semple in that number 8 Lucas machine. It's hard to vote against Matt Semple after his win at Darlington and Gateway. He's got to be feeling pretty good coming into this half mile, knowing there's no pressure, and just trying to continue his march forward as we go into New Hampshire next week.
That he does. I think feeling good is the name of the game for Matt, and what he's able to do is go out there and just try and collect some wins at this point. Of the last 3 races in which he has participated, he's won all 3 of them. So Matt Semple out here and just trying to rack them up, collect some trophies, make it happen, and keep that momentum up going into the next round.
Well, Matt Semple's going to go for a little bit of slide there. Let's set the stage for race number 28 out here tonight, Ari. 250 laps around this half miles. Some may even call it a half-mile super speedway. That's how fast they're going around here. 250 laps. Stages do conclude at the end of lap number 75 and 150. So 75, 150, and then a short little 100-lap sprint to the finish.
Sounds like a pretty good setup to me. One thing that tends to be the case here in Bristol is that fuel doesn't really come into play. So it's going to come down to a couple things with these drivers. It's going to come down to your racecraft around other drivers on a real tight, short track like this. But it's also going to come down to how you can manage those tires, because for as short of a track as Bristol Motor Speedway is, it is very high speed. And that puts a lot of strain on those tires going through these bank corners. So who's got the tire magic tonight?
Yes, it will, and then you can never count out at a super speedway. There I go. First mistake of the night. At a short track, you can never count out the opportunity for green, white, checkers drivers to have 3 opportunities for overtime if they do need them at the end of these 250 laps. So all these drivers beginning to make their final laps out here as we're following Brendan Brody around right now, making his final laps around Bristol, currently 3rd on the board. Not that far off, currently with only 5/100ths of a second off of fastest on track, Brad Holmes.
That he is, and I've been seeing some promising things out of Brendan Brody in the 98. I feel like he had a really good showing last week in Gateway, and I think Brendan Brody's been kind of flirting up there with that top 1 or 2. Like, he's gonna, at any one of these weeks, any one of these tracks, we're gonna see that 98 just kind of take that half step up that he needs, get up there, start really leading some laps and contending for a win.
Yeah, absolutely. And another driver that I expect to be in contention out here for a win tonight is that 54. Justin Osterman has always been kind of go big or go bust in that 54 machine. I think tonight may be the night that he finally puts all the pieces together in that Storm Tracker number 54 for Justin.
It could very well be. It's been a very up and down tale. It seems like every single race that we see that 54 in and on track. So hopefully today it's all up for driver 54. But one thing I do want to bring our attention to, Tom, is driver of the 77, Roy Hill III, has logged the most laps in practice, 147 as of the line this time by.
That is an incredible looking car out there. Anybody who knows me, I am a sucker for anything Wood Brothers. So yeah, Roy Hill putting the laps down here in opening practice, but just over 2 minutes remaining in practice. We're going to go ahead. We're going to step aside. We're going to get the opening ceremonies for tonight's race underway, and we'll be back for your full 5-minute qualifying. Back at it here from Bristol Motor Speedway as practice begins to wind down. Just about 30 seconds remaining here in open practice. Arie, we were talking about this a little bit earlier before we came on air. Bristol Motor Speedway, are we going to see top lines here? We're going to see bottom lines? What do we expect to see these drivers run these next 200 laps?
Well, Tom, based on previous races here and based on what I've been seeing a lot of in practice, it's going to be a little bit of a mixed bag. We're going to see some on the bottom, some on the top, but I've definitely seen a fair few drivers that are tending to favor the bottom. And I do think that the lighter car count definitely plays into drivers preferring the bottom. So we'll see how it goes. Usually you can manage your tires better there, but if you're wheel-to-wheel racing, that top line's real powerful.
Well, I think we're going to get a pretty good look of it in qualifying here, as we are just about set to begin our 2-lap qualifying. And these laps go around quick. 15 seconds is what these drivers are going to be looking for the first driver to light up on pit road. See Brad Holmes, Logan Spencer, Matt Semple, Christopher Pugliese, all drivers on pit road. Riding along here with Brad Holmes as he comes out to begin his first qualifying lap here. Ran a little bit high there in turns 3 and 4. This is going to be the test of time here of Brad. See him kind of ride down to the bottom, slide up through the middle a little bit in turn 1. What does he do in 3?
3, 3, and 4 we go with double-double. Brad Holmes looking for another good run after a near win last week in Gateway. Going to be not... Yes, there it is on the board with a 15.02. These laps go by real quick, 15 seconds or less. So around we go. Brad Holmes is going to end out qualifying with a final lap. Where does that put Brad Holmes? A 14.99, top of the board. But don't look now. Matt Semple, driver of the 8, the man on fire. 1-ups and to the lead. First driver. I was going to say first driver to go sub 15 out here, but that would not be true. Brad Holmes also did a sub 15 following Paxton Frith around here. Right now in that 21 machine, he just completed his first lap, almost 0.8 of a second off of the current pole time set by Matt Semple with a 14.97. The 21's another car that always seems to find his way towards the front in the middle of the race, maybe just not at the end of the race, Arie. Yeah, I've noticed that as well with driver 21 Paxton Frith. It seems a little bit similar to the 54, where it's kind of up and down, and it's usually the middle of the race where the 21 kind of makes up some positions, but then it just kind of fades out towards the end. So looking for some more consistency out of the 21 moving forward. Mike Schaefer comes out, had a good run last week at Gateway. He had a podium finish last week at Gateway, trying to continue his challenge in the playoffs. First lap for the 29.
does put him 6th on the board of the 11 drivers who have currently qualified. Only driver so far yet to take a time out here in qualifying is Justin Osserman in that 54. Second time for a Schaefer, going to be the top of the board.
That it is, and top of the board by a wide margin of 14.88. That is a 10th quicker than second place Matt Semple. So what a phenomenal lap from Mike Schaefer in the 29.
Yeah, that was absolutely a hot lap for Mike Schaefer in that number 29 car. Super fast. Perhaps tonight, maybe the night for Mike Schaefer, trying to improve on his gateway finish just a little bit and carry the momentum in. After 250 laps out here tonight, as we take a look at this track, you see the entire track in one setting here, Arie. That's how tiny this track is. One thing these guys are going to need to be aware of, if we do get green flag pit stops out here tonight, very important to remember what side of the track you're on. The track's symmetrical. You could very easily come down the wrong pit road. I think I've done that once or twice.
Yeah, you can definitely come down the wrong pit road. That's going to be something to keep an eye out for. But another thing to keep an eye out for in something that most people don't know about this track is that the corners are actually not the same. Turns 1 and 2 are a little bit tighter than turns 3 and 4. And if you know that behind the wheel, you can really use that to your advantage. So we'll see if anyone can capitalize on that information. That turn 2 wall is no joke on exit.
Funny how you never tell me these things when we're competing on the track together.
No, of course not.
But quiet track right now as the shadows get a little bit longer. The lights illuminate Bristol Motor Speedway, this half-mile concrete chat. Hope everybody's having a wonderful Wednesday night. I see Casey Tomlinson already in our YouTube chat. Casey, good Wednesday evening to you. Let us know who everybody out there watching, rooting for, who you want to see do well out here tonight in tonight's final cutoff race of the round of 16.
I'll tell you what, while we're waiting for qualifying to wrap up and that grid to get ready to form, I'm going to ask you the question, Tom. Who you got your eye on through practice and qualifying here as we get ready to head into the race?
Oh, you know what? I know I said Justin Osserman earlier tonight, but that red and white car that Roy Hill is running, closely resembling the Wood Brothers car, would be really cool to see that car get up there. But even more important than that, Roy ran the absolute most laps in practice. You alluded to it in our practice with almost 150 laps in that 1 hour practice session. Keep an eye on that 77.
I like it. The 77's a pretty good pick going into tonight's event. You know, I'm gonna swing for the fences maybe just a little bit. I've got my eyes on the car 2 positions ahead, Aiden Shrine in the 87. I think Aiden he's kind of been here and there in the last couple races, but he hasn't really had that standout performance. And while we know he's definitely a road course kind of guy, I think this might just be the right type of track for Aiden trying to get back up there and start really competing for a win.
Yeah, you can never really go wrong with the pick of the 87 of Aiden Shrine. I mean, at Sonoma Raceway, we saw Aiden lead a whole bunch of laps. And in a lot of ways, Arie, road course racing kind of does translate over into short track racing because you have very heavy braking zones that these guys are going to need to manage. So it wouldn't be a bad pick.
It wouldn't at all. And I'm getting some word from race control, Tom. We might need to go ahead and head to a break for just a couple minutes here as there's some technical difficulties in the race room, but we'll get everything sorted and figured out so that we can get back to you and get this race underway in a handful of minutes.
All right, well, stay right here. We're going to stay on the same stream here, so just hang tight for us for a few minutes, and when we hear something, we'll be back. All right, back here from Bristol Motor Speedway. Had a little bit of a hiccup on the track out here. They had to make sure everything was good to go. I was talking with race control. They want to make sure everything is primed and set up properly for these drivers in the final playoff race. But Arie, we've got our starting grid here. Eventually, current drivers are currently in a warm-up session, which is going to be moving forward to the race session here in just a few minutes.
That it will. It's a real interesting way to start off our night here in Bristol, but I think it just kind of brings up that antsiness amongst all of these drivers, probably in a pretty big way. So it's going to be an exciting one. We're going to have a transition race here. We've got the sun. It's still up, but that sun is about to be setting. So over the course of this race, we are going to be seeing the track cool off, the grip go up, and the intensity go up as well. We follow along with Matt Semple at the moment during this temporary extended practice session. After qualifying has been done and set, Matt Semple should be starting in P2, I do believe, at the conclusion of everything getting settled, sorted, and all of these drivers being ready to go for this evening's race. Handful of drivers jumping on track, trying to get that last-minute warm-up in. See what the track is like, see what their car wants to do, and try any last crazy things they might want to try before it's race time.
Race control just checking with all the drivers, making sure that everybody was able to make their way into this new server. So we should be advancing out of this practice session here and moving to our grid and our race in just a moment. Keep hanging tight with us here on the CyberThunder Broadcast Network. All right. Race officials have confirmed that all the drivers have made their way into this new session for Bristol Motor Speedway out here tonight as we get set to get your starting lineup underway, waiting on the field to get on track. Now, we did already confirm that they were not going to run a second qualifying session and that they were going to make every attempt to get everybody in their original starting position. So we do expect Mike Schaefer to be working his way towards the front of the field during these pace laps. And then from there, it's kind of anybody's guess. We'll see where everybody lines up.
Yep, here comes the chaos as everyone tries to figure out where they are. But, of course, Race Control doing a great job to get the situation sorted. And if need be, we might get an extra pace lap or two to make sure it's sorted. But everyone getting ready to go, and we are moments away from getting this race underway.
Well, Arie, a little bit of extra time out here tonight in practice. Gets everybody nervous, but the lights are off on the pace car. Looks like we're going to be going green this time by as drivers get set for 250 laps of racing from Bristol Motor Speedway out here tonight. Arie, all these drivers got to be nervous coming to a track like Bristol.
Yeah, I would say so, especially with how intense things have been in the Free Racing League throughout the start of the playoffs. And as it starts to ramp up, as we start to cut drivers out of the playoffs and it starts to get down to the last few, it's go time. It's now or never.
Well, Mike Schaefer on the front row won the pole out here in tonight's qualifying. Matt Sempeltz is outside. Brad Holmes and Gary Miller going to be your top four by Aiden Shrine and Logan Spencer. That looks like your top six. But what do you say? It's a Wednesday night, a little bit delayed. What do you say we go racing once again here on the CyberThunder Broadcast Network?
I say we do it. Pace car pulls down onto pit road and into the restart zone we go for that initial green flag drop. The double-double is going to give a good push to the 29, and Mike Schaefer leads us into turn number 1.
Off we go. Mike Schaefer gets a good jump down to turn number 1. Matt Semple holding strong up on the outside lane. Under fire from Brad Holmes as Brad Holmes moves up to second place on lap number 1.
Lap 1 complete, the 29 in control of this race as we run, but if we jump a little further back, we've got a battle. Matt Semple down to third, Aiden Shrine looking to take that position away. Everyone trying to get settled and sorted, find where they want to ride for the majority of this run here, and it looks like we're mostly single file, just like that.
Matt Semple slides back just a little bit, back into third place. Mike Schaefer continues to lead as we work lap number 4 from tonight's event out here so far. Brad Holmes up 4 spots from his qualifying effort out here tonight so far. Roy Hill III, that was the driver that I had my eye on in practice, ran about 150 laps in practice. Currently running 5th, solid start to tonight's race for that number 77.
Solid start for Roy Hill indeed. Already looking good. Looking like he's getting settled, and he did run the most laps in practice, so Roy Hill's probably going to be one of the drivers feeling the most at ease, the most comfortable right now, and really knowing what to expect out of that car. But of course, Aiden Shrine, overcorrection and into the wall.
That is a rare mistake.
Out of turn 2.
That is a rare mistake from Aiden there. As Aiden now slides back a little bit, we're going to get a quick look at the incident of the 87 here.
We got a little zoomed in view coming out of turn 2, I believe this is, for the 87,
down.
And it's just the slightest overcorrection. Not even that much at all. That put you into the wall.
Yeah, that car just turned right, and then you start to worry about toe length, sorry. I think Aiden's going to get away with that without many repercussions, I guess I'll say it that way, for the 87, but a hit like that could very well potentially take you out of contention.
It definitely could, and I agree that Aiden Shrine's going to walk away with that one. Being thankful that it wasn't worse than it was. We could see that damage just a little bit on the right front of that beautiful red and black 87 Red Bull Chevy Camaro here tonight. But long race to go. Still got a fast repair if needed. Aiden Shrine is far from out of it.
One of the drivers moving forward out here tonight is Roy Hill III. He's currently got a battle going on with Gary Miller Gary started third in this session out here tonight, down 2 spots from his qualifying position. You could see the different lines being used by the 77 and 38. Gary electing to use a little bit lower line down there and making time on the corner center, the apexes of the corner. And you hear him get back in the throttle. Right
It's
down
one of the
there.
things I love about this track, Tom, is the different lines, the different ways you can run this race. As narrow as it is and as short as this track is, it's so unique in that you can run this in any number of ways that you see fit.
He's going to take a look. Gary Miller's going to take a look down to the inside of the 77, try to take 4th place away from the 77. Going to be side by side into 3. But it's so difficult to make a pass down on the inside line. A lot of people think short tracks, bottom lane's going to be where you make all your passes. With the momentum-based machines that these drivers are racing out here tonight, the outside lane will hold its own.
It will, and yeah, passing on the bottom, like you're saying, it's incredibly difficult. But when these cars are on their own, running that bottom line is the preferred line. It's real interesting how that works at a short track like this, where you get up on that high side, and it's just so much better when you're in traffic. But that's going to play to Roy Hill's advantage for a while. Looks like Gary Miller's going to clear in the 38, and that is a new P4 runner.
It is, and we also have a battle starting to brew up here for the race lead. Brad Holmes has made his way to the back of the number 29, Mike Schaefer. Now within a car length here, but being followed closely by Matt Semple. You got a 3-car breakaway before you got to look about a second, maybe a second and a half, before you find 4th place Gary Miller, Roy Hill the 3rd, currently in 5th. But Brad Holmes marching his way forward in the early portions of tonight's race. Going to be taking a look to the inside for the race lead, lap number 19.
Double looking to take that lead before we even get to lap 20. Mike Schaefer is going to have to let off the gas just a little bit. It's going to halt him and the aid of Matt Semple, new race leader, Brad Holmes.
And again, let's not forget, these drivers have 3 stages out here tonight. Lap number 75, lap number 150, and then finally 250 is the final stage out here tonight. So these drivers are racing to lap number 70 as Mike Schaefer may possibly be in danger of losing 2nd place to the number 8 of Matt Semple.
It looked like he might have been, but he's found that line again, and Mike Schaefer has kind of opened that gap back up just a little bit, as we saw some skid marks and a little bit of smoke right there of some drivers who are sliding around just a bit. But look at this kerfuffle we've got back here, led by Roy Hill, Mike Miller. This is the battle for 5th, and we're going to lose Brendan Brody. No, we're not. Great save. Maybe we're going to lose Brendan Brody. Oh, there it is.
Oh, if I'm Brendan Brody, that's heartbreaking, right? You know, I mean, that's just Bristol.
That is
front bumper to rear bumper. That's kind of how Bristol goes. But Brendan had it saved, and then had additional contact, maybe with the 87 at first glance. We'll take another look here.
Yeah, we can see it saved, gets loose again, and Aiden Schreine's just got nowhere to go. He thinks he's got it saved at that point, and then it's just a turn down at the last minute. We'll see if we can get another onboard shot from the 98 of Brendan Brody here. We can get down on board right here. It's just loose. You get those rear wheels spinning in this next-gen car, and it is so hard to get them planted and gripped up again. This car is very finicky and very slidey when it wants to be. So
I tell you what, Arie, it's not very often, if ever, that you get hit not once but twice at Bristol, and all you come away with is a little damage on the left rear quarter panel.
That's a fantastic point. As a matter of fact, I was just thinking, you know, for as crazy as that was for the 87 of Aiden Shrine, he walked away from that. I think pretty good, or not the 87, excuse me, the 98 of Brendan Brody, but walked away pretty good, all things considered.
Couple of cars already on pit road, working lap number 25. That is Aiden Shrine, Roy Hill, Paxton Frith, and Christopher Pugliese on pit road. Logan Spencer already showing 2 laps down for some reason. Logan is on track. Let's see if we can't see what happened to Logan. I mean,
yeah,
weird to be 2 laps down here this early.
I've got a replay right here, I do believe, queued up. This is Logan Spencer going for what I believe was P5 a handful of laps before the caution came out. See if we can't speed this up just a little bit here. Oh, just loses the car. Oh, wow, that is... See if we can get another angle. That is some serious damage right there. See if I can get one more view of this right here with Logan Spencer. Just gets loose coming off of turn 4, battling on the bottom. And right there on that left front, that's enough damage to have to go down pit road and lose a couple laps.
We may be, but field is lined up behind the iRacing.com pace car. Lights are extinguished off of, I call it a Volkswagen Jetta, but field is doubling up and we are getting set to go racing once again.
Set to go racing with Brad Holmes in the lead. Double-double, driving the 00, leading Mike Schaefer and Matt Semple, your top 3, as we look to restart at the beginning of lap number 28. The sun is starting to set. You can see the lights on that pace car making a difference on track, and we're getting a rapidly cooling racetrack as we go.
Pace car going to get down and out of the way once again for the second time out here tonight. Field being led to Barney the Flagman. Back under green flag conditions, Brad Holmes jumps out to the race lead by about a 2 car length lead, but Mike Schaefer loses a spot on that restart there to Brad Holmes, and now Osterman's going to go around.
54 gets tagged from, I believe that was the 38. Correct me if I'm wrong, Tom, but 54 going to get spun around, and luckily that wasn't even a very significant impact with the wall. It seems like everyone except Logan Spencer is getting cut these lucky breaks on. I don't know how they're wrecking, but this could be our second caution of the night.
Yeah, second caution of the evening. Let's take another look or two and see maybe what happened. Down here, yeah, Gary Miller just goes in there and unfortunately misses the corner, and there's contact between the 54 and 38.
That there is. Let's see if we can jump on board with the 38. Yeah, he sends it in. The 54 is not ready for how quickly the 38's coming in, but the 38 is also sending it on quite the move. That was quite the gutsy move for this early in the race.
Back live here as the field continues to make their way around. This half-mile speedway out here tonight. Brad Holmes currently the race leader over Matt Semple. Mike Schaefer currently in third. Gary Miller and Mike Miller round out the top 5.
It's been an interesting start to the race so far, Tom. We saw Mike Schaefer start from the pole. We saw Matt Semple, Brad Holmes round out the top 3. That's still our top 3, just not in the same order. And we haven't really gotten a long enough run to see what many of these drivers are made of. We're starting to get a couple cautions. Cautions do breed cautions, especially on these short tracks. So is this a sign of things to come, or are we going to be able to kind of steady it out, get these drivers separated, and get some long runs in?
See Justin Osterman on pit road, trying to stay on the lead lap out here. But these drivers know that they got a caution coming at lap number 75, and there you see Justin. He's going to come off of pit road right before the pace car would come around. But lights are out on the iRacing.com pace car. We're doubled up once again.
Let's have another go at it. At least one of the benefits here around Bristol Motor Speedway is just how quick these cautions go by. The laps are short enough, and we're already ready to keep it going again. Hopefully, these drivers can keep it going steady, keep it going safe, and we're gonna see if that 8 of Matt Semple or that 29 of Mike Schaefer can do anything with Brad Holmes in control of this race.
Well, we are getting set to go once again. Brad Holmes currently the race leader. Matt Semple to the outside. Last time by, we saw Mike Schaefer lose a spot. He started in the outside front row. We'll see if Mike Schaefer is able to take a spot away from Matt Semple here through turns 1 and 2. Doesn't look like he's going to be able to do it that time by. Give the lead to Brad Holmes, but big looks back here. Battles for 3rd and 4th on the track.
That there is battles all around the track, and Roy Hill looks like a renewed driver, man, on a mission in the 77, looking to make some moves early on the restart. Mike Schaefer has got his hands full as Matt Semple has moved up to P2. As we run, we take a look a little further back. We can see Most everyone's spread out right here. The 38 getting around the 42 just at the very back, but these margins are about the same for all of these drivers going through. We're just waiting for some of these drivers at the back to find that speed, start making up some positions.
Aiden trying to make his way forward after an earlier incident in tonight's race where he got caught up with the outside wall, but he's currently back in 6th place, currently following around the 24 Mike Miller. You see, got Roy Hill the third and Mike Schaefer back here. This is a battle for third. Roy trying to make big moves out here tonight. Started 10th on the board for that number 77 machine, continuing to march his way forward here before the end of stage 1.
It looks like that 77 is ready to go. Those couple of cautions got out of the way, and Roy's like, you know what? I've done a lot of practice. I know how to run this track. The sun is setting, most importantly, and I'm going to see if I can't go up there and try and make some good track position. Looks like Mike Miller might have just had a little bit of a moment. See if we can't find what was going on right here with Mike Miller, who dropped a bunch of positions. Oh, it could be, yeah. Yeah, I would say that'll do it. That was just a bunch of technical difficulties there with the 24 car. Back live we go. 77 still working on the back bumper of the 29. This is a battle for 3rd place as they run. It is the closest battle on track at the moment.
Yeah, 77's got a really good line working down on the inside line, but Schaefer also carrying a really strong top line. We've seen the 29 protecting the outside line pretty much from the word go out here tonight. Really fun to watch the battles between the top and the bottom lines here. Now there's a little bit of separation as Aiden Shrine has another issue on the backstretch here. Lights are yellow, lap number 43 for the 87, and this one might be a little bit more damage than the first one.
It very well looks like it might be. Man, we jumped over there just in time to catch that with the 87. Let's see if we can't see what happened here. Believe this is heading into turns 1 and 2, perhaps. I don't know. The turns look so similar. Ooh. Oh my gosh. That... Okay, we're going to need another look at that one. That looked like it may have been... We're going to jump on board. This is the 87 of Aiden Shrine. Heading through the corner. We're going to keep it slowed down right here. Heading off of the corner. Wow. Tom, have you ever seen anything like that?
Yeah, you know, we try to keep it as close to real as possible out here on the CyberThunder Broadcast Network, but sometimes when you're playing a game of inches and millimeters over thousands of miles, and that may be what you have just witnessed there.
Yeah, that's going to be... I'm not... That's nobody's fault. That's 87's running his race, 38's running his race. That is just the unfortunate reality of the virtual world here and there at times. And looks like the 87's got a brand new car, went ahead and took that fast repair. Damage was probably bad enough to do so, and yeah. Unfortunate for Aiden, but does have that lifeline. Yeah,
that's really unfortunate to have to use your fast repair in a moment like that. To something that wasn't your fault, wasn't anybody else's fault. But Aiden Shrine will continue in tonight's race, currently in 12th, still on the lead lap out here, and that 87 will restack, repack.
That he will, and I do believe the pace car is going to be getting ready to cut those lights out and give us one more time by for the restart that approaches. And Brad Holmes, Matt Semple, the story up front, it has not changed. Mike Schaefer in 3rd, Roy Hill in 4th, and Brendan Brody in P5. Falling a little back right there, but that 86 car getting back up into the action.
So doing a little bit of housekeeping here before we go back green after this most recent caution. The top 2 drivers, Brad Holmes, Matt Semple, yet to make a pit stop on pit road. Mike Schaefer, yet to make a pit stop on pit road. First car that came down on lap number 24 is Roy Hill III, and then 8th through 12th came down on one of the more recent cautions. So a little bit of a mixed bag of tire strategy out here.
That it is, and that would explain why we saw such an aggressive run out of the 77 of Roy Hill. It was those brand new tires. That will do it for sure. Green flag is out, and on we go. The first 3 cars single file, but the battle is for P4, the 77 and the 98, who's blinking out just a little bit. Gonna have to get off the gas, and that gives Roy Hill a huge run on Mike Schaefer, trying to make these new tires work almost into the quarter panel.
Gonna take a look down onto the inside, gonna have to think better of it, but here comes Brendan Brody. We saw Brendan Brody go around earlier in this race and rebounded nicely, currently running up in the top 5, working lap number 50 here from the world's fastest half mile is that 98. Black and trying to take away 4th here, but we take a look back at battle for 6th on the 7th on the track between Paxton Frith and Justin Osterman.
There are battles all over the track right now, Tom. We got the cameras bouncing here and there and everywhere in between. Every time these restarts happen, these drivers are a mess, in a jumble, trying to get it figured out. Looks like Matt Semple might be under pressure from the 29. We thought Roy Hill might be trying to take the 29 spot, but Mike Schaefer has just been able to turn on the jets when he wants to and kind of ride easy at other times. It makes me wonder how much he's trying to save those tires.
Well, here he comes. He's taking a look to the inside of Matt Semple, trying to take away position number 2 down here into turn 3. There, it's almost a dead heat, fender to fender, coming through turns 3 and 4. Mike Schaefer at the line is in 2nd place, but Matt Semple still has a nose up on the outside rear quarter panel of that 29 machine. As Semple touches the wall, and that's going to give Schaefer position number 2 for the time being.
That it will. It looks like Matt Semple is going to get away with that hit into the wall, at least damage-wise. But don't look now. Here comes the 77, Roy Hill the third on those fresher tires. Semple into the wall again on the exit of turn 2. Remember what I said at the start of the race, Tom. Turns 1 and 2 a bit tighter than 3 and 4, and Matt Semple might be a victim to that early in the race here.
Gary Miller tries to continue his march forward. Gary Miller kind of had an up and down night so far in that blue and yellow Ford Mustang out here tonight so far, currently running in the 6th place position behind the 98 of Brendan Brody, trying to get a solid top 5 finish here at the end of stage number 1. Again, stage 1 concluding at the end of lap number 75. That's what all these drivers know that they're racing towards. But you can see once again the different lines that these drivers are using all over the track that these guys are using. And now here comes Justin Osterman. That's going to open up the door for the 54.
That it will. This is a great shot from on board the 98 of Brendan Brody, watching Justin Osterman take that spot. That was the battle for P6 as we're riding on board with P5 as we run. And we got Logan Spencer taking a spot away from Paxton Frith a little bit further back in the pack. This is a battle for P9. Getting sorted right there between those drivers.
While all this is playing out up here, as we continue to watch this great battle between Osterman and Brody, Brad Holmes, he's opened up the biggest lead we've seen all night out here tonight, about a 2nd lead over 2nd place Mike Schaefer. So Brad Holmes currently setting the pace out here with about 15 laps remaining in this opening stage out here. But I've been keeping an eye on the lap times between the 29 and the 00. When that 29 has clean air and nobody in front of him, he's as fast, if not faster, than the 00.
That's a great point to bring up, Tom, as we get closer and closer to winding down stage number 1. We see Justin Osterman in the 54 trying to use those brand new tires from lap 44 to make some work and make some positions and make those tires work, I should say, and putting some big pressure on the 77. But let's not forget, as much as you can have a tire difference, as much as you can have a little bit of newer tires, whatever the case might be, it is very hard to pass around Bristol, and the 77 is making it real hard on the 54 right now.
Yeah, they certainly are, as Justin Osterman tries to continue his march forward. He's going to take a look down to the inside, try to take a look for 4th place on the 77. He's going to get his nose down to the inside, not able to complete the pass at the start-finish line just yet. Roy Hill's going to get a big run off of turn number 4, but the 54 going to be door bumper clear on the exit of 2.
That he is, and the 87 under pressure from the 21 of Paxton Frith, or perhaps the other way around. Looks like it's the other way around. Aiden Shrine, you getting by and setting the sail. We still got battles everywhere. The 38 putting some pressure on the 98. This is a battle for P6 as these drivers run at the moment. Get some blinking going on right there, but Brendan Brody going to hold on for the moment. Jump back up with our race leaders, and we have got, let's see if we can get a good little shot here from the 29. Mike Schaefer trying to chase down double Brad Holmes. That's the gap right there. That's about a 1.5 second gap around a track like Bristol. Seems like it's pretty far, but you can make up that time real quick at these short tracks.
Yeah, you certainly can, and you can hear the on and off throttle for Mike Schaefer. You hear him get out of the throttle. Everybody's staying in 5th gear through these corners. Unlike what we saw at Gateway and even Darlington a couple of weeks ago, these drivers using 5th gear as they ride around here, but Mike Schaefer sounds like he's playing with the throttle, maybe a little bit more than I would like as a driver, but sounds like he's not too confident in that right front tire on that 29 machine right now.
Yeah, nice, smooth, and steady inputs is what you want. Doesn't matter what track you're racing at. Smooth and steady is always going to be the play, and well, I think we might be seeing a little more smooth and steady out of some other drivers, but I'll tell you what, this is working. Brad Holmes' lead is down to 1.2, but oh, Mike Schaefer into the wall just a little bit. That is not going to help. As we jump back on board with the 38, trying to take away the spot from Brendan Brody. It's getting tight.
That certainly is. Gary Miller down onto the inside, being followed by Mike Miller in that green and black number 24 Ford Mustang, trying to make his way through. Trying to say one of these lanes has got to go forward, and I'm going to try to follow whichever one it is. Got to imagine he's going to try to push the 38 of Gary Miller through, and Gary Miller's going to make the pass, and Mike Miller's going to follow right behind him in close quarters. New 6th and 7th place position for Gary and Mike Miller as we conclude the end of stage number 1 here in just another lap.
That we do. Is the 54 going to be able to get up to Matt Semple? Looking for the conclusion of the stage. Justin Osterman on some newer tires. Can he make up this one final position before the end of it? Matt Semple going to elect to take the outside line, try and hold him off long enough. To the inside goes the 54. Has him at the line. The yellow is out. We'll see who they decide to give it to. It's going to be the 54, Justin Osterman, up to P3 with that strategy.
Great run back up through the field for the 54 after his early race incidents. But Brad Holmes, your stage 1 winner out here tonight. Expect to see everybody down here on pit road in the next lap or two as the field going to line up behind the iRacing.com pace car. Chris Pugliese did go 1 lap down, only car 1 lap down, and will be receiving the free pass award on this stage yellow out here, Arie.
That's right. Brad Holmes looked pretty untouchable for much of that first stage there, Tom. Now, we did have a lot of kind of shorter runs going on. We didn't really get like the entire stage of a run or even half of the stage for that matter. So it looked like the 29 might have been able to close into the back of Brad Holmes on the longer run. He's just got to clean up some of those dings with the wall, a little bit of those mistakes here and there. And I think he's got something for Brad if we're talking speed.
See everybody coming down onto pit road. Expect to see 4 tires up and down the grid here. Now, something to keep in mind, Arie. Some of these drivers did come down on lap number 25, and based on their pit times around that time on lap number 25, do you think that they took tires? They have 5 tire sets out here tonight, so 4 changes. So they could possibly be using their second one for some of these.
They absolutely could, and tire management is always going to come into play, especially at a track like Bristol, where you can get a lot of cautions at a lot of different times. You know, if this 250 laps ran green the entire way, I don't think you're really worrying about how many tire sets you have, but given the fact that cautions can come here and there, and when you have those opportunities to pit under yellow, you almost have to take them to get some tires because it makes such a difference. And we saw that out of the 54 of Justin Osterman going all the way through the field and up to third with those fresh tires on lap 44. Looks like it's going to be the 9 of Jaden Wick's going to take a wave around. Jaden Wick's late to the session, late to the race today. Jumped in the car after it was already underway. So many laps down for Jaden Wick's, 40 laps down by the looks of it. But we'll be able to make that 39 with this caution here.
Expecting the lights to go out this time by And they do. Jaden Wick's going to drive around this half-mile short track out here. Brad Holmes elects to take the inside lane for this restart here, with Mike Schaefer to his outside, Justin Awesome, Matt Semple, and Gary Miller. Currently your top 5 as they run. Working lap number 80, going to be 81 when we go green. The next stage that we're looking for is 150.
And it is. We're going to watch the field get ready to restart through turns 3 and 4 right here before that pace car decides to pull us on down. And we are a go for stage number 2, green flag. Ready to go.
Up through the gearboxes they come, 5 gears strong down the front stretch here at Bristol Motor Speedway. Brad Holmes opens up about a 1, maybe a 2-car length lead, but Justin Osman takes an opportunity. He's going to take a look down to the inside of the 29 of Mike Schaefer and try to make a pass for second place. Going to get oh so close, but Glenn close, but no cigar for the 54, as now he's going to be able to slide up in front of the 29.
There he is, and we got to battle a little further back. That's going to be for P5 between the 77 and the 38, and oh, they get so close. Gary Miller drifting up into the side of Roy Hill, but everyone keeps it going, and that 38 car is not ready to give up. Yeah, these guys are pushing all out at the moment.
One thing that I noticed, Ari, as we've got contact in 3 and 4, Roy Hill the third going to go around off the bumper of the 38 of Gary Miller. Lights stay green here at Bristol Motor Speedway, and this could be huge. Is that now there's more issues. Oh my goodness! Yeah. Now lights are yellow. Lights are as yellow as they can possibly be here at Bristol.
Lights are more yellow than they've ever been. Oh my goodness. Okay. All right, we're gonna have to take a look at everything that just happened right there. If we go all the way back to this point right here, with the 38 getting into the 77 of Roy Hill. See if we can get a zoomed out view right here. Speed just a little bit. There we go. I am speeding up way too fast. Into the wall goes the 77. That's going to get everyone else in a kerfuffle. And then we see the 42 get into the 98 and get another look at that one right here. We watch these guys coming around and just squeezing through the 42. Christopher Pugliese just going to get into the back bumper of Brendan Brody in the 98. They're going to collect Paxton Frith.
Yeah, nowhere to go for the 21 of Paxton. That is the definition, if Webster's had a Pictionary, of wrong place, wrong time for the 21 machine. Just kind of running your own line, but that's what happens at Bristol. That it is.
That was a pretty signature Bristol incident right there. You know, it kind of started half the lap before, and everyone's trying to figure it out, and they just can't figure it out. And one thing leads to another. You got a domino effect collecting multiple cars.
What I was getting to go into as a talking point, Ari, before that whole mess happened there, Matt Semple, the winner of the last 3 races that we've seen him at here in the Friggy Racing League, has had flashes of speed out here tonight, but we haven't seen it as consistently from that 8 machine all night tonight. Currently running in 4th.
That's a pretty good point. We have not seen the same Matt Semple that we had seen in recent weeks, and it looked for a lot of qualifying and even towards the start of the race like he wasn't missing a beat, but it seems like as the runs start to go a little bit further, I'm not too sure what we can expect to see out of Matt Semple, currently running in 4th position now. He didn't take any tires in the middle of stage 1, so that's why he lost 3rd position. Otherwise, he was roughly running there, but we'll see what Matt Semple can do. Is Nightfall has officially fully befallen us, and we've got a much cooler track to work with, and the chaos is at an all-time high. But if I'm Matt Semple, I'm going to try something different, because what I'm doing so far is not quite working.
Well, the lights are off on the iRacing.com pace car once again, as the field's going to come around. They're going to take the green on lap number 89. Once again, the field being led by Brad Holmes. Justin Osman out to the outside of row number 1. Mike Schaefer still in position number 3, and Matt Semple to the outside of row number 2. But we're waiting on Barney to send them on their way, and off they go. Brad Holmes gets a good restart.
Brad Holmes gets a good restart indeed, and the battle is on for P2. Can Justin Osman hold on from the outside? Going to be under pressure from Mike Schaefer. Into turns number 3 and 4 we go, and it looks like we're 3 wide behind. There is all sorts of chaos going on around the track right now. The 98 blinking out just a little bit. And looks like this is going to be our tightest battle as we run the 89 of Logan Spencer, the 77 of Roy Hill. Here comes the 98 of Brendan Brody. And still waiting for the Skaggle to get it figured out. But in the meantime, back up front, it's Brad Holmes, it's Justin Osterman, and then it's the 29 trying to hold off Matt Semple in the 8.
All these drivers coming through, you see the different lanes that are being used. 77 of Roy Hill the third trying to take a run up on the outside of Mike Miller, that number 24. Mike almost clear, not able to slide up in front of that 77 machine, as now he's going to be able to get his way clear. But Brendan Brody had a couple of incidents out here tonight. So far this evening, all the drivers seem to have kind of collected themselves and put themselves in a pretty good position here as we work stage number 2 here for another 57 laps or so.
57 laps or so is the number, and we're trying to keep on keeping on with all of the closest battles on track as we run. Up front, Brad Holmes to stretch out to about half a second over Justin Osterman, running in second. Third is Matt Semple, who's gone around Mike Schaefer for P3. Mike Schaefer kind of holding steady there. We got Mike Miller in the 24. There's a driver we haven't really talked a lot about this evening, all the way up to P5. And being hounded by the 77 through turns 3 and 4. 1 and 2.
All right, so we're almost 100 laps down through this first opening segment of the race. Had a couple of quiet runs so far up towards the front of the field. Who do you like for these next 100 laps?
So far, out of what I've seen out of these drivers, you know, I was through stage 1. I really liked what I was seeing out of the 29 of Mike Schaefer, our pole sitter. But I don't know. It seems like he's starting to struggle a little more, and into the wall goes the 29. Commentator's curse, if I've ever seen it. Apologies to Mike Schaefer for that one, but keeps the car going. A little bit of right front damage right there, and yeah, you can get a good little view of it right there as we ride around the track. Oh, just gonna ding that in just a little bit more, give Tom the ability to use the telestrator a little bit.
Yeah, you can see some significant damage on the right front of that 29 machine. He's going to be able to continue on, right? He's not going to be required to come down to pit road to get that damage done. But he's going to need a caution or two before this stage ends, or he will be in danger of going a lap down.
That's absolutely right, Tom. And well, we got interrupted when you were asking me who I got my eyes on, and I tell you what, we were just talking about how it's not the same Matt Semple that we've been seeing in recent weeks, but I don't know if Matt's listening to the broadcast right now, because he's changed it up, and Matt Semple is hounding the 54 for P2 right now. He looks extraordinarily quick, and part of that could be that maybe the 54 elected to not take new tires since he already did halfway through stage 1. That is something to potentially consider here out of Justin Osterman, but Matt Semple looks fast. He wants that spot.
And both of these drivers back here in second and third, they're kind of catching the current race leader, Brad Holmes. Last couple of laps, they've been as fast or faster than the 0-0. So even racing for position back here, the 54 and the 8, still making some gains as now Brad Holmes is in lap traffic.
That's right. Lap traffic in the form of Paxton Frith in the 21 car. Just one lapped car at the moment for Brad Holmes to deal with. And we can see kind of a tale of two lines right here. It seems like Brad Holmes and Matt Semple are running a very similar line using that diamond on corner exit, whereas the 54 of Justin Osterman is committed to the bottom, not really drifting up too much, maybe a little bit, but for the most part, just kind of glued to that yellow line. And that's providing a really interesting opportunity here for Justin once he gets there. Giving him, having that different line might give him a better opportunity to be able to pass the 0-0 if he's got the speed to get there.
Right. Pardon me, as we see a battle now here between Gary Miller and Roy Hill III. Battle for 6th place on the timing charts out here, but battles all over this short track out here tonight. Whether it's a battle for 2nd place that we see between the 54 and the 8 right here going down to turn number 1, or if we're looking at a battle for about 6th place, all these drivers looking to get any sort of position that they possibly can, because they know that stage number 3, it's only 100 laps.
That's right. Stage 3 is pretty short, all things considered, and we watch these onboards right here for the battle for 2nd place right now, and man, this is intense. At a track like this too, Tom, nonetheless, having a real short stage 3, a real fast, short, high bank track under the lights, it's about as good as it gets.
See Matt Semple working the top lane of the speedway down here. Justin Osterman electing to run that yellow line. And Justin gains a little bit of time in the center of the corners, but Matt is able to carry the speed and the momentum off of the corner exits. And what you get in one end, you give up in the other, and that's kind of the tale of what we're seeing right here.
Yeah, it seems to be the case. Matt Semple's advantage is kind of tapered off just a little bit, and that really aggressive diamond that he's running in the corners, while it can be really quick and it can be really efficient, you've got to be careful, because you can burn up your tires quite a bit if you're running that diamond a little too aggressively. So something to keep an eye on. Justin Osterman's line is a lot more consistent, a lot more steady and stable, and over the course of an extremely long run, I would tend to think that that would be the safer option.
Well, we're going to see which one works out well here. Is now Matt Semple is as close as he's been to the back of the number 54, and he's going to get a great run down the backstretch here. Does he take a look to the inside? No, he does not. Justin elects to run the inside lane as Matt continues to try to make the momentum work up on the outside, and I think one of these corners here, it may work, and it may just be this one.
Yeah, I think what Matt Semple is potentially going to need right here is just a little bobble from the 54. Just 1 second of the 54 letting off the gas or scraping the wall, which is so common at Bristol Motor Speedway. We've seen it from just about every driver this evening. Just that one little blip, that one little wiggle, and Matt is carrying enough speed that with a mistake as little as that, I think it'll be enough to get him alongside, and from there, it's anyone's game. But oh, Matt Semple hard into the wall out of turn 4.
These drivers still running the same lines that they have been. Matt Semple currently still trying to make the pass on 2nd place. While all this is happening, Brad Holmes really hasn't walked away with the race lead. They're still running within a 10th or so of the race leader, Brad Holmes, but that's pretty impressive for the 54 and the 8 at this time. But taking a look back here a little bit, we're going to take a look back now for a battle for 8th place. Mike Schaefer was involved in that earlier incident, maybe about 15-20 laps ago. Mike Schaefer still on the lead lap, but in danger of going 1 lap down, as we've got just about 29 laps remaining in stage number 2.
Seems like these drivers just cannot get away from each other. When one battle gets sorted, another battle is on, and that's just been the tail of the race so far. But that makes a great show for you and I so far tonight, Tom, as we see the battle for P5. Brendan Brody in the 98 holds on to 5th. Gary Miller, Logan Spencer trying to get caught up right there, and back up towards the front. Matt Semple has not gotten around the 54, but I'll tell you what has happened. I do believe Brad Holmes has started to open up this gap just a little bit. You can see how far back 2nd and 3rd place are now, maybe using up their stuff just a bit in their battle, and that's been paying dividends for the 00, though he does have some lap traffic to deal with just ahead.
Yeah, he's got lap traffic in terms of, who was that? Paxton Frith and Chris Pugliese in the 42 as well. He's going to make his way around the 42 without much incident, and now try to make his way around the 21. Now, Brad's got a little bit of time to play with here. It is going to be interesting, though, to see how these two drivers get through this lap traffic here. Matt Semple sees nothing but opportunity with these lap cars coming up in front of him. Says, hey, you know what? The 54's got to get around him. I'm going to try to set him up and try to block him in behind one of these lap vehicles that they're going to be coming around here. So let's keep an eye on this lap traffic as these two race leaders try to make their way around. As Justin Osterman down to the inside.
Near contact. Oh, there is contact. Justin Osterman cleans out the 42. Christopher Pugliese tries to keep it going, nearly took out Matt Semple in 3rd place. had a checkup for that one, but Justin Osterman wasn't about to be blocked in, I'll tell you that much.
Well, they say you make fenders for a reason, right? Yeah, Justin Osterman got a little bit of damage on the right front fender of that 54 machine as there was contact between him and the 42 just a lap ago, but now that has opened up the difference between second and third place. Now, Matt Semple got about a second behind Justin Osterman. Now it's going to be interesting to see if Justin is able to start to close the gap. Now that he doesn't have Matt Semple breathing down his mirror, see if he is able to start closing in on Brad Holmes running on his own.
A situation we'll monitor for sure. We jump back here and we see the 38 hounding the 24. This is going to be a battle for fourth. Mike Miller under pressure from the 38 of Gary Miller. And this will be 4P4 as they run. A little bit of a battle further back between the 98 and the 89. These two have been going at it. A little collision. Little traded paint right there. No harm, no foul. And Logan Spencer and Brendan Brody, they have been trading positions left and right, back and forth for about 10-15 laps now. These two cannot get away from each other.
A little bit of a wiggle for the 89, that red and white machine down on the inside. Gonna lose maybe just a car length or two, but other great battles happening out on the track currently right now. Fourth place, Mike Miller. Gary Miller trying to take fourth away as well.
Yeah, using or the 9 car of Jaden Wicks there, a lap down car. I was going to say using his pick, but I think Jaden Wicks is actually on fresher tires and will be going through these drivers right here. But Gary Miller up to fourth, Mike Miller down to fifth. Brendan Brody not quite in the clear yet. Logan Spencer still there, still hanging around, looking to the outside, the inside, the everywhere, whatever side you can come up with. And these two's battles real fun to be watching so far up to this point.
It certainly is. All these drivers know that stage number 2 is coming to a close here in just a couple of laps. A little bit of a wiggle from the 98 of Brendan Brody here. Logan Spencer working behind him.
Has to get out of the gas for that little connection blip right there. Smart heads up driving by Logan Spencer in the 89 to avoid any issues right there, but it does cost him just a little bit of time, unfortunately. We jump back up front. Brad Holmes has opened up the race lead to about 2.5 seconds over Justin Osterman, who's putting the 77 car lap down from P2. We've got Matt Semple about 4.5 seconds behind the race leader. Gary Miller in the 38 running in fourth, about 8.5 seconds back to Brad Holmes. So Brad Holmes, story of the night so far, Tom, has this thing figured out.
Yeah, kind of very reminiscent of what we saw out of the 8 of Semple at Richmond and Darlington. Brad Holmes is setting the pace out here tonight, trying to go into the round of 12 next week at the Magic Mile, New Hampshire Motor Speedway, with a win out here, carry the momentum. You already see the winner stickers on the side of his car out here tonight on the driver's side. Brad Holmes looking to add one more and mark his name as a championship contender. We've got a caution here, and we are going to be going back green here before the end of the stage.
Yeah, that seems to be the case. And it looks like we were already getting some chaos here. We're gonna it all the way back. These two could not get away from each other, as we saw, and this might have been a result of blinking out. We're gonna see the 89 right here. It looks like, to me, Tom, Brendan Brody just got loose regardless of the blink and loses control right in front of the 89. That's a hard hit.
Yeah, nice heads up driving by Logan there. Not to get too involved in that. See a little bit of right rear contact between the 98 and the 89. But Logan Spencer going to continue on without any damage. Can't really say the same about Brendan Brody there, but happened right in front of the race leaders here, Arie.
That it did, and real close call for Brad Holmes, who just creeps in the picture right there. Boy, that could have been.
So now this kind of flips the race on its head here. Couple of cars coming down on pit road. Mike Schaefer on pit road. Brendan Brody, as expected, on pit road. Mike Schaefer, I do believe he will be staying out here in the next 5-6 laps. Try to get some track position to begin stage number 3. I like this call for the 29. He's been fast, just hasn't really had the track position.
Yeah, I agree, Tom. I do like the call as well for any of those drivers who are pitting now to get that track position at the start of the stage. We've seen that tires can make a difference, but I don't think we've seen that tires can make that much of a difference. I think a couple laps on those tires to get up front, that's a deal I'm taking. Based on what we've seen so far tonight, and other drivers might be faster, they might have a couple more laps on the tires, but it's not going to make as much of a difference here as it would normally elsewhere.
And I mean, Arie, if you're Mike Schaefer, you know that you got a caution coming out 3 laps after we go racing here. Just ride around in 5th gear, run around 60% throttle, save the tires. Everybody else is going to pit.
That's a good point. It's a good point, and there are 4 cars on track that are not on the lead lap. That puts 4 to 5 by the looks of it, maybe even. So we're looking at about 8 cars on the lead lap as we run. If you're Mike Schaefer, you just sit back there where you're already in 7th, 8th position. So you just sit back there, hang out, keep those tires under you, and get the positions given to you when everyone else comes down.
All right, well, the field is lined up behind the iRacing.com pace car. We do expect to see a caution at lap number 150. But Brad Holmes, Justin Osterman, Mike Schaefer back there on fresh tires. Don't expect to see that 29 pushing too hard here on this restart. Expect to see him save those tires, but Barney's going to send them on their way.
Down into turns 1 and 2 we go, and here it is. The battle for the stage win for stage number 2. Justin Osterman has closed in the gap via the caution. Is there Brad Holmes in sight? Can he run away from the 54, or will the 54 be able to close up and get this stage win right here? There's chaos ensuing behind, but this is our immediate battle at the moment. Looks like the 8 car solidly in 3rd. That's Matt Semple ahead of Gary Miller in the 38. Logan Spencer in the 89, and looks like here's our first side-by-side action as we run.
Schaefer on fresh tires takes a look down to the inside of Mike Miller in that number 24 machine. He's going to be able to make the pass without much trouble as all, as we're going to see the white flag.
Justin Osterman got real loose, gets into the wall just a little bit. That could have been disastrous for the 54 of Justin Osterman there, but looks like everyone keeps it going, and that brings us back around to Brad Holmes, who's gonna begin lap number 150. And oh man, look at this gaggle.
But coming out of turn number 4, Brad Holmes going to be the leader at the line as the lights illuminate yellow. Brad Holmes sweeps the stages. Out here tonight, wins both stage number 1 and stage number 2. I tell you what, Arie, that was a fun first couple of stages. We say we step away for just a minute, and we're going to be back for your stage 3 restart. All right, back at it here. To begin stage number 3 in just a lap or two, Brad Holmes did win both stage number 1 and 2, but, well, as expected, Arie, Mike Schaefer takes the track position through this round of yellow flag pit stops and assumes the race lead to begin number 3.
That he does. The 29 going to be the lone driver pulling the interesting strategy. Another thing we saw was Matt Semple in the 8 beating the 54 off of pit road right there. And that could be everything for Matt Semple's race as we enter stage 3 here. We're going to have less than 100 laps to the end of the race, and we saw how much of a hard time Matt had trying to get around that 54. But I love the strategy from Mike Schaefer. Get himself out front, 100 laps to the end.
Well, this is the perfect opportunity for Mike to kind of show what you got in that number 29 machine. I do think if Mike is able to maintain some track position out here, he will be a contender for the race win, but 100 laps sets us aside from knowing the answer to that as we get set to go racing to begin stage number 3 in just a moment.
Starters got the green flag, and down we go. Mike Schaefer getting a good jump, but Brad Holmes on the outside was ready for it, and Brad Holmes is going to be able to stick it there on the outside all the way around. Can Mike Schaefer hold on to this advantage, or is Brad Holmes going to get it through turn 4? We go Brad Holmes at the line.
Brad Holmes advantage to the 0-0 as they enter into turn number 1 and 2. The 0-0 is clear with the better tires. Now Brad Holmes going to try to walk away with a little bit of breathing room over the 29 machine, but there is no breathing room back here between the 8 and the 54. Justin Osterman under fire from Matt Semple as they work lap number 158 here, entering turn number 3.
Everyone trying to get filed in, figure out where they need to go. Unfortunate restart for the 29 and for the 8, but 00 and 54 played that to perfection, and Justin Osterman might have something for the 29 of Mike Schaefer based on how close he's getting to that rear bumper.
Little surprising, Arie, that we're seeing the 29 maybe fade back a little bit. Expected him to, yeah, I think maybe if he had a little bit of a better restart, that would have played into his hand a little bit more. But I mean, what did he run? Probably 4 laps on tires. What do you think about this?
Yeah, I expected more out of the 29, and I think not clearing the 00 was a big factor in this strategy kind of not really working out that much. But I think another part of it for Mike Schaefer is that it looked like he was running kind of hard as he gets into the 54, sends Justin Osterman up into the wall, and around the 54 goes Roy Hill, gonna spin trying to avoid it, nose first into the inside wall.
Little bit of contact between the front and the back bumper of the 29 and the 54. Justin Osterman going to get, we'll call it minimal damage on that 54 machine as he comes around. Gets quite lucky not to get collected or hit anything harder than he did, but only a 2-car incident, the 77 and the 54 involved in this most recent yellow.
That is right. Looks like the 29 just gets in way too hard, sends the 54 up and around, and what else can you do if you're the 54? Unfortunate for Roy Hill in the 77, trying to avoid that incident. Going to get a lot of front-end damage on the inside wall, and innocent bystander in that one, but up towards the front, that leaves us with Brad Holmes, Mike Schaefer, and Matt Semple, our top 3, and we got a new name in the top 5, the 89 of Logan Spencer.
Yeah. Excuse me. Logan Spencer, again, having a quiet run up inside the top 5. Last week did the same thing at Gateway. Kind of came out of nowhere, and before you knew it, the 89 was up in a podium finish for Logan. So trying to do the same thing out here again tonight. Currently running in 5th. Started 7th on the board out here tonight. So up 2 spots from his qualifying position. Car looks pretty good. And we'll see what he's got these next 90 laps or so.
I did notice that. It seemed like the 89 of Logan Spencer, he kind of came in late in the race last week at Gateway. I feel like we saw kind of something similar before out of the 89, even before Gateway as well. And it seems like Logan Spencer is a bit of a bit of a late race riser and just knows how to pick off those positions, survive till the end, and find himself in the top 5.
Well, we're going to see what the 89 has here on this next restart. One driver that I do want to keep my eye on is Mike Schaefer. Now, Mike is on a little bit older tires, but he is going to be taking, is going to be restarting on this restart up on the outside lane, assuming that Brad takes the inside lane for this restart here. As it looks like he may be dropping back here, maybe for an in-race penalty of contact caution there.
Seems to be the case. 54 showing his displeasure with the 29, giving him a little side swipe on his way by. So it looks like the race control is going to send the 29 to the back for causing that caution, getting into the 54 and sending him up into the wall. And that changes things because now we got that bright yellow and blue of 38, Gary Miller, sitting in P3.
Pace car going to be down and away once again out here to begin lap number 167 of 250 from tonight's Friggy Diggy Racing League race at Bristol Motor Speedway. Brad Holmes, the race leader. Matt Semple gets a pretty good restart up on the outside. They may be side by side on the exit of 2. No, Brad Holmes going to clear by a car length or 2, but Logan Spencer making a run on the exit of 2.
That he is. Looks like Gary Miller in the 38 is going to be able to hold on for now. And the top 4 all get it evened out, nose to tail. We jump a little further back, and we've got Mike Miller in the 24 defending from the 98 of Brandon Brody. And that seems to be our closest battles right now. You go a little further back, and everyone's a little more spread out. So we're watching these guys all try to figure it out for those top 5 positions.
Still following the battle around here. Currently a battle for 5th place on the board. See Mike Miller down on the inside in that black and green Ford Mustang, trying to protect the position from Brendan Brody, but Brendan carrying great momentum around the outside of the number 24. I think Brendan is going to be able to make the pass on the entry to turn number 3 here, but Aiden Shrine within camera frame in that candy red apple number 87, but several laps down, as now we've got a battle and also contact between the 54 and the 42.
And he's going to push him just about all the way around the track, and the 42 is going to get hooked to the 54. Oh my God.
I'll let you call that one, Ari.
I need to settle down a little bit after that one. I haven't seen anything like that in a while. All right. Back we go, and we're going to take a zoomed-in view right here. Justin Osman trying to get around Chris Pugliese in the 42, and looks like as they come off of the corner, Justin Osman just not clear. Car high into the wall, and then both of the cars are just kind of hooked together.
It almost looked like the 42, at least from what I saw. We could take another look at it. Almost looked like the 42 kicked loose on the exit of turn 4. And maybe turn
Let's jump on board
left.
with the 42.
Yeah, this will give us a pretty good idea here. Watch the steering wheel.
Maybe a little bit, yeah. I think we're seeing a little bit of both drivers come into each other. 42 gets a little wiggle, 54 is coming up. Both meet in the middle, and then this ensues. Looks like a fun time. A little fun ride there for the 42 of Chris Pugliese. Meanwhile, 00 Brad Holmes.
Can you throw helmets in iRacing, Ari?
I think that was the equivalent.
I would have thrown a helmet at you once or twice in our times racing together.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, in all fairness to the 42, I do believe that was just the car unable to get into gear. He was kind of sitting in second. He was hitting the gas like he was trying to get into gear. It wouldn't go into gear, and those tires are just going for a ride. You're also hooked to the other car, so it was pretty funny, but I don't think either driver's doing anything nefarious.
I still would have thrown a helmet at you once or twice at our in our times racing together. But
absolutely.
back up towards the front, working lap number 175 of 250, as the drivers are going to see 73 laps to go next time by when they take the the green flag out here. But Brad Holmes has been the man of the evening out here tonight. Matt Semple has an opportunity that he hasn't really had all night tonight to make his name known as a race leader here in tonight's race at Bristol.
Yeah, if Matt Semple can get a good enough restart to stay with Brad Holmes through turns 1 and 2, I think that's going to be his best bet. We've seen in the green flag runs that Brad Holmes is nigh on impossible to catch, let alone pass. We'll see what we can do here, but Matt Semple's got his work cut out for him. Through turns 1 and 2 we go. Brad Holmes leads the way. Matt Semple can't quite get it figured out, and we've got a gaggle back here. Mike Miller going to get sent into the wall. And we might have some more spinning ahead. We do. That's going to be the 54 again of Justin Osterman. The 42 of Chris Pugliese involved.
I don't know if that's a coincidence there, Arie.
I'm not sure, but we're going to find out. We've got the 54 right here.
Yeah, this all starts... Yeah.
Gets into the 24. The 54 gets collected. 29's going up the track, gets the 54. This is just a chain reaction of quite the magnitude. The 42's going around already.
Aiden Shrine.
87.
You want to talk about bad luck at her tonight in that 87 Chevy Camaro for Aiden. Everything out here on the track he has found tonight.
Yeah, that is right. We'll ride on board with Aiden, watching all of this happen here. Just nowhere to go. Just bad place, bad time for Aiden Shrine. Unfortunate tonight. Through all that chaos, our top 3 remains unchanged. Brad Holmes, Matt Semple, Gary Miller. Brendan Brody in the 98's up to P4 as we run. That's a driver who I kind of pegged earlier on this evening is maybe being able to go up there and kind of put his foot on the gas here at Bristol. But I tell you what, through these restarts, Tom, Brad Holmes has been untouchable just like he has been on the longer runs. I don't know if anyone's going to have anything for that 00.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see. I think we've seen a couple of opportunities for several different drivers up on the outside lane. Nobody's been able to make it work just yet. Matt Semple has held the second place position here for the past several restarts. Every time you do it, you're learning what you can do a little bit better next time.
That's right. That is a really good point. And if you're Brad Holmes, you've got to keep the field on their toes, and especially Matt Semple, who's going to be your biggest rival in this conversation. Got to keep those restarts changing up, and don't let them predict you like that. But we're going to be looking at lights out on the pace car. We're going to restart at the start of lap 182. We are racing to the end of lap 250 for this evening's race at Bristol Motor Speedway. And if it hasn't been chaotic yet, I can't imagine what we're about to see.
Keep an eye on that number 38 machine. We've seen Gary Miller work his way through the field out here this evening. Gary Miller, I do think he is probably the sleeper that could best be in position to take advantage if these two leaders do get together. But we are green flag racing once again. Brad Holmes, Matt Semple side by side down into turn number 1. That's the best restart we've seen from second place almost all night.
That it was, and I really thought Matt Semple was going to have a chance there, but gets beaten out at the end of the day again. But you know, I thought I was with you with the 38 having an advantage, but Brendan Brody in the 98 might be trying to change some minds, gets shuffled out right there and has to give up the spot. That's going to open the door for the 54. Wow, contact right there. A little bit of a domino effect between these drivers as they're trying to figure it out, and all that blinking from the 98 is going to be making these drivers around just a little bit nervous.
And it puts the 54 in a difficult position, Arie, because you know that there's a connection issue in front of you. So do you just run your line, or do you get out of the gas every time something happens in front of you? As Gary Miller's going around, and so is Matt Semple. What just happened to the race leaders?
2 of the race leaders.
Lights are green still here at Bristol. Yellow flag has not come out.
It hasn't. we're still racing. Matt Semple's got some damage on the front of that car. Let's see if we can't... caution is finally out by the looks of it. Oh, they both lose it on corner exit. Second and third place.
Yeah, that's one of those incidents that Matt Semple thinks it's a single car incident, and then here comes the 38 not too far behind him. And sometimes we'll catch you off guard down there when you're not expecting another car to be tagging you down there for a single car incident.
Oh, absolutely. And yeah, that is a crazy occurrence to see two cars get loose and spin to the inside from second and third place at the same time.
Well, part of it, Ari, could be that, you know, with the racing that we've seen at really all the tracks you've seen, you're kind of basing your line off of the car in front of you. When the car in front of you makes a mistake, more times than not, you're going to make the same mistake. Whether it's them getting loose, whether it's them getting tight and hitting the outside wall, it kind of creates this stack up and this ripple effect behind the car that makes the initial mistake. And that may have been very similar to what we just saw with the 38 there.
It is certainly real easy to be making the same mistake as the driver in front. We most commonly see it when it comes to hitting the wall on corner exit. I think that's the best example where you might follow the driver in front of you. Getting loose, you can absolutely see that happening, especially at a really high bank track like this with the tight corners kind of coming out. It's already a little hard to gauge here, you know, whether you're keeping that car, if that car's gripped up or if you're getting a little loose. And if you're watching the guy in front of you get loose, well, round you go.
Well, now we've got a new contender in second place after that most recent caution flag on the speedway. Second place, Brendan Brody, is going to make an attempt to take the race lead here on this next restart. But keep an eye on that number 54. I think that 54 is running hot tonight, and looking to put that 54 back up front. See a little bit of damage on the right front of the 54.
That we do, and I'm wondering how much that damage is going to affect the 54, because he's shown speed enough to get up there and maybe challenge Brad Holmes, assuming that damage isn't too much, and now he's back into a good track position spot.
You broke my telestrator.
There you go.
There we go.
Let you circle it.
See a little bit of damage there up on the right front. At a track like this, definitely not as significant as if we were at, say, Michigan or Auto Club or Chicagoland or any of those high powered speedways, but still not what you want to see when you're at the cockpit of the 54.
Yeah, certainly not. And fortunately, it is a short track. You can make it work. We've got a couple race leaders who are a little blinky right here. Hopefully this doesn't make things too crazy, as the 54 is right there with the 00. Everyone's going to hit the loud pedal, and off we go into turn number 1. Who's going to get the advantage between the 54 and the 98? That's Osterman and Brody trying to chase down Brad Holmes, and they are locked in tow.
And Brad Holmes loves to see this in his rearview mirror. Out of that 00 machine is Justin Osterman able to make his way around the 98 machine. Definitely contact on the front stretch there, but everybody comes away clean and green and pointed in the right direction. Justin Osterman in position number 2. Brendan Brody loses into third, but Mike Schaefer may have gotten tagged in turns 3 and 4. Lights are green here. What happened to the 29?
Lights are green indeed, and I want to say, let's find out here. If we take a little bit of a replay right here and jump on with Mike Schaefer. I don't want to say it, Tom. I don't want to be the one to say it, but I think this was just a little bit of you know what? He might have just got loose. I don't know. I can't tell if that was just a phantom tag or if he got loose.
We have seen some pretty bad phantom tags out here this evening so far. As Brendan Brody live on the CyberThunder Broadcast Network goes around the 98, and we're going to get our next caution, our 12th caution of the evening. Brendan Brody. We came back to him getting sideways on the exit of 4 and going around.
That we did. We're going to take a little zoomed out approach. He just gets real loose coming off the banking. Lucky not to collect some other drivers, because I was right in front of a pretty significant pack. A driver slides up the track, and Paxton Frith and the 42 Pugliese able to avoid getting caught up right there, but Looks like he just got real loose and lost control of the car.
We get an onboard maybe with Logan Spencer. Logan had a fun view of that, just kind of running his own lane, and then all of a sudden he sees
Again, let's watch
some
onboard.
cars going around in front of him here.
It's going to be a little further back. Watch a couple of laps on board with Logan Spencer here. Everyone's getting into the wall. These guys are pushing for all they're worth. Oh my gosh. Good heads-up driving from the 89 Logan Spencer to get checked up in time in the midst of all that side-by-side action.
And also Gary Miller as well, because they were side-by-side as well. So, restock here real quick. Lap number 198, expecting the green flag to come out around lap number 200. Cars on pit road, 6th and below. So, Matt Semple, the first car to come down 4 tires. Mike Schaefer, Brendan Brody, Justin Osserman, also getting 4 fresh Goodyears down here. So, that's going to leave your top 5 on about 50 lap tires, give or take, for some of these race leaders.
I tell you what, Tom, P2 Mike Miller in that 24, his tires are almost 30 laps newer than race leader Brad Holmes, and right behind him Gary Miller in the 38. Last time he was on pit road, lap 188, even newer, another 10 laps on top of that. Brad Holmes might be in trouble from electing not to take any tires on these last couple of cautions.
And now you got to start to think, 50 laps here, if we run that green, they can run 50 laps here in 15 minutes.
That's right.
So maybe Brad Holmes electing to save a set of tires, but what's the break-even point here? You know, if you get a caution on lap 230, if you're Brad Holmes, can you come down and take your last set of tires? Like, 20 laps is not a whole lot.
It's not a whole lot, and I don't like waiting that long at a track this short. At a track this short, I don't want to pit any later than lap 200 with 50 to go, pretty much right here. If that caution comes out just now like it did, and I'm Brad Holmes, I'm electing right then to take my set of tires and call it good to the end of the race. I know I have the speed to make some passes, but that's neither here nor there, because it's go time.
Well, we will see what Mike Miller, with about 25 lap better tires, has for Brad Holmes. Brad Holmes going to take a commanding restart here. Gary Miller going to make a pass for second place, or try to, on the number 24, Mike Miller. Yes, he is able to. Second place, Gary Miller. Third place, Mike Miller. Fourth place has fallen to Logan Spencer. Matt Semple, first car on pit road through this most recent caution. Back up to 5th already, trying to make some moves forward, all up on the back of the number 89.
That he is, and it looks like Matt Semple has used that fast repair. That car looks brand new, so he'll be coming on some new tires and a brand new race car. As the 89 of Logan Spencer gets tagged by the 98. Caution does come out, and it finally goes around for the 89. All unfortunate for Logan Spencer getting caught up in that one, but here we go again.
So there's two sides to the sword here, Arie. If you're Brad Holmes, let's take a look here, and then we'll talk about it. But Brendan Brody, Logan Spencer down here. Brendan in the black and white Ford Mustang. A little bit of right front, left rear contact with the 89 machine there.
Yep, that's going to be a short track special right there. Just two cars getting in a little too close to each other with the right front, left rear, and we've seen that happen over and over.
So what I was getting ready to say, Arie, Brad Holmes, we were just talking about the need for tires. Your window to come down and take your last set is rapidly closing. However, if you're Brad Holmes, you see all this stuff happening behind you. Does it benefit him just to stay out?
It's a pretty good point, Tom. That track position allows you to get some good restarts. At least if you're Brad Holmes, you've been nailing the restarts, so you can pretty much count on getting clean air from the restart. From then, you can make it real hard for anyone on the same tires or newer tires, whatever it is. You can make it real hard on them to pass you, but most importantly, to your point, you don't have to make it through the chaos. You don't have to, hope that you survive that and avoid getting taken out by some other people's mess. So Brad Holmes is sitting pretty, but all it takes is a green flag run to the end, and that's going to allow these newer tires behind him to really take advantage.
And here's the other thing. I can't imagine at this point in the race that fuel is going to be too much of an issue. But Brad Holmes is going to be looking to go about 100 laps on fuel. Now, they do run a modified fuel here in these NASCAR Next Gen Camaros, Camrys, and Mustangs. That's the thing at the Toyota there. But they do have 70% fuel. With all these caution laps, I got to think that Brad is probably okay on fuel, but another factor to think about.
Yeah, I would think that Brad Holmes is probably pretty good on fuel myself. Seeing the last pit lap time for a bunch of these drivers on track, it's pretty fascinating because you go back to 4th place and you've got 4th through 7th. That's Semple, Brody, Schaefer, Osterman. Each of those drivers have nearly 50 lap newer tires than Brad Holmes, our race leader. And, you know, just ahead of them, we've got drivers with 30 lap newer, 40 lap newer. So lot of tires that are newer than Brad Holmes. I think Brad Holmes has the oldest tires on track right now.
I tell you what, if we get a restart with Semple and Holmes on the front row again, that's going to be a fun one to watch.
We're going to find out. Let's see what Gary Miller and Mike Miller can do with that 00 pace car down. Flagman ready. Brad Holmes is going to bring us to the green in the restart zone. Fantastic restart from the 00. And everyone's going to try and get it sorted out just behind 2 by 2 as Mike Miller tries to pull ahead of the 38, but the 38's got better tires. That's Gary Miller in that yellow and blue Ford Mustang trying to pull ahead. Matt Semple can't go anywhere, nor can Brendan Brody until this battle ahead of them is figured out, not unless someone wants to dare go 3 wide around Bristol.
Oh, and it's so frustrating for the... Oh, contact between the 98, 54, 29 goes around, 42 goes around.
Yep, we're hearing a little bit of some helmets being thrown over the race chatter. I'll let you know, Tom. And looks like this is going to start with the 54 just running over the 98, and perhaps that's a remnant from something that happened earlier in the race here. But here's a great view of just all the chaos that ensues after that. Roy Hill yet again, just getting caught up. Bad placement. As much as he practiced today, unfortunate for him, but half the field about going to be involved in that one. And yeah, unfortunate stuff right there for a number of these drivers.
Well, Brad Holmes continues to have really good restarts out here tonight, Arie. But now Matt Semple is going to be presumably on the inside line here. If you're Brad Holmes right now, do you consider taking the outside to protect the outside line from Matt Semple, or what do you do here?
Oh, it's not even a consideration. It's already done. I decided that the second I thought I saw Matt Semple was in 3rd place. If I'm the 00 and Matt Semple is on just about 50 lap newer tires than me, I don't want him to get the advantage of starting right behind the race leader. I'm going to give that advantage to Mike Miller in the 24 on the outside, and we'll see what Brad Holmes decides to do. I think no matter what, he can get the lead on the restart. So the lane he chooses, I don't think should matter all that much. We'll see if he takes it into consideration.
Well, I'm pretty sure on every single restart out here tonight, we've seen Brad Holmes take the inside line. So we'll see if he switches it up here, as we are going to have just about 35 laps to go. I was never very good at math in school, Arie.
Well, that's all right. That's why we've got you up here in the booth calling the races.
Expect the lights to go out this time by on the iRacing.com pace car. See what the 00 does. I do think there's a possibility that we see him take the outside lane here, as it looks like he has made his decision to restart on the inside lane here. That could spell trouble for the 00 if we run a couple of laps, puts the 8 right up on your rear bumper.
That it does, and we promise you folks watching at home that we did not bribe the 00 to make it interesting. That is just what we're seeing at the moment. So Matt Semple is going to have to lock in on this restart and make the most of it because he is in a prime opportunity. I'll remind everyone the difference in laps on tires. Gary Miller has last pit on 188, Matt Semple 197. So about 10 lap difference between those two.
Good restart once again for Brad Holmes. Brad's going to open up about half a car length lead. Gary Miller goes way wide in turns 1 and 2, but that's going to set sail for the number 8 machine with about 50 lap better tires for that blue and white Lucas number 8. Across the start finish line, Matt Semple sets his sights on the race leader of Brad Holmes.
Paxton Frith with a little bit of issues. Looks like no caution. Everyone keeps it going. Oh, there's the caution. As we run, it looks like some trouble for Mike Miller in the 24. See if we can't find Mike Miller. Looks like he's already sliding here. We're going to have to take that back just a little bit. Looks like some contact with the 77. Another right front, left rear. Very eerily similar to that recent incident we saw. Mike Miller just couldn't get it straightened out. Slides across the track, and that's another yellow. Oh, look at this now, Tom.
Oh,
Brad
that's
Holmes
interesting.
on a pit road. I think it's too late in the race, Tom. I think it's too late in the race.
So,
It's lap 218.
Brad Holmes is going to fall down to presumably 7th, depending on where he comes out of pit road. We can assume pretty safely that he's going to come out where he came in, but I do think he's going to be 7th on the exit here, as we see Brad as the first car to move. So going to be restarting in either 6th or 7th here on this next restart, with going to be about 30 laps to go. That's a lot to ask.
It is a lot to ask, and what's particularly interesting about this is we go from the driver number 8, Matt Semple, and 54, Justin Osterman. Before that last caution, these were the 2 guys on track who were in the best possible situation, tires and track position. Now, all of a sudden, they find themselves with some of the oldest tires on track. Now, it's not by that much, and most of that lap difference has been caution laps. I think if I were Brad Holmes, I was just going to ride it out. If I stayed out that long, I'm not coming down with this few laps remaining, and so I like this for Matt Semple.
Don't look now, Arie. We got Roy Hill up in 3rd.
That we do. Wow, that's a change of fortunes.
Roy Hill actually has... All right, so there's a whole lot going on here, right? But Roy Hill has about 12 or 13 lap better tires than Matt Semple and Justin Osterman, the 2 drivers in front of him. He last pitted on lap number 211. The 2 drivers in front of him pitted on 197. So Brendan Brody and...
Oh, I tell you what, Tom. Sorry to interrupt you, but Roy Hill got to go to the back of the line, race control, dinging him for causing that yellow.
That's twice tonight I have been talking somebody up and they get an in-race penalty. Oh my goodness.
But speaking of somebody who came out of nowhere, the 21 car, Paxton Frith up to 3rd, so we got someone to focus on, Tom.
It would be a party down here in Bristol, Tennessee tonight if Paxton could get a win. Got about 10 lap better tires than the race leaders out here tonight, but pace car down and away. Semple and Osterman leads us to the green.
Leading us to the green, you see Brad Holmes stuck on the outside line, a couple rows back. Osterman going to hang it around the outside of Matt Semple, gets into the wall, and that's going to halt his progress. He's going for it again, but he's going to lose out on the track position. Matt Semple now in control of this race, but don't look now. Brad Holmes already up to 4th, make it 3rd potentially. Through the corner, exit we go.
Paxton Frith having an issue in the back of the pack. Saw the 21 going around. As the yellow flags illuminate yellow here, as we're going to have about a 20-lap run to the checkered flag out here. As Paxton looks like he just gets a little bit loose there. Nice job. Logan Spencer deserves some sort of award. Oh, wait, maybe not.
Yeah, maybe not. Well, yeah, that's... Dang, it looks so good for Logan Spencer. For just a minute right there, we're going to jump on board with Logan Spencer, driver of the 89. Seeing this happen, and it looks bad. Oh, it looks great. And then it's just on the banking, too hard on the brakes, right around you go. Helped around by the 21, and just enough of a ding on that left front.
wasn't a whole lot of options for the 89 there. He was pretty committed to the top side of the speedway. It's easier to turn right when you're in a corner than it is to turn left, so options were limited, but Logan Spencer going to come out of that mostly unharmed here. Is now Matt Semple has taken the race lead. Justin Osterman was making a challenge here.
I think he was.
Brendan
One thing
Brody
I'm
as well.
noticing. Yeah, Brendan Brody's been having a good run. We saw Brad Holmes nearly up to P3. By the time that caution came out, he was just about neck and neck with that 98. Now, the fact that Brad Holmes got put back in P4 puts him second car on the outside rather than the car behind the leader on the inside. That is going to be huge for Matt Semple's chances of holding on to the lead all the way to the end.
Oh, sounds like maybe somebody just had an issue back in the back of the pack. Sound like an engine just expired. Not sure who. I see Aiden Shrine is on pit road with a meatball. Maybe an issue for Aiden Shrine underneath this most recent caution.
Yeah, it looks to be the case. Aiden Shrine has been on pit road for a significant amount of time. He is roughly 70 or 80 laps down at the moment. So Aiden Shrine looks like took it behind the wall, parked it for the evening. Forgot to turn the car off. Overheated. It's going to be an expensive repair bill on that one, but lights are out on the pace car. We're 2x2. Matt Semple, Justin Osterman going to be on the front row here on the restart. We got Brendan Brody in third and Brad Holmes restarting in fourth. A tale of different tire strategies, and we're going to restart with 24 to go.
So now if you're Justin Osterman here on this restart, you're in a difficult position because you're playing both offense and defense. You're playing offense on the 8, defense on the 00. Here as we get going. Once again, green flag back out. Side by side down here into turn number 1. Great restart for the 54. Is he able to keep his nose up there on the outside of the 8? He is not able to. Battle for second place now. Brendan Brody, Justin Osterman, as there's contact on the exit of 4, but they keep it moving in the right direction.
Oh, Brad Holmes collected.
Oh my God.
Oh my goodness. They're still wrecking. They're still going.
And the lights are yellow.
I would agree about the lights being yellow. We're going to zoom it out just a little bit right here. We can see it starting out of turn 4. These two in second and third getting together. The 24 clips the 00, and that's going to be Brad Holmes up into the wall. We see the 54 going up in the air, the 98. We got the 9 involved down low. We got the 38 getting some damage. The 29 of Mike Schaefer getting a little involved right there. I tell you what, Tom, why don't we ride on board with the 54 of Justin Osterman right here. Coming off of turn 4, gets hit a little bit. Tries to keep it going. You're in 4th gear, so these are high revs. Wheel spin is going crazy. And it is just a mess. It is just a nightmare going up in the air.
You want to make it spicy? Let's take a ride on board with the 98 as well.
Let's do it. Let's ride on board with the 98 of Brendan Brody. If we can whoops. Go back here one more time. My apologies. All right, here we go. We got that wheel cranked to the left for Brendan Brody, trying to stay off of the 54. Kind of straightens it out, tries to keep it going. The 54 is just locked to the left. And now up the wall we go, and it is just chaos from there. Unfortunate stuff. Let's go ahead and jump back up to live cam.
Well, while the lights are still on here, Justin Osterman currently on pit road. Let's see if we can't get a word with the 54 here real quick. Justin, Tom, and Arie up in the booth. How you doing tonight?
Hello? Oh, I'm so sorry. I was watching something. Yeah, I'm here.
Hey, we just saw that contact between you and the 98. You had some good tires. You had a great restart there on Matt Semple. Kind of give us your rundown of that incident here real quick.
Yeah, I just got tired of people running into the bumper, man. It's been happening all night and pretty much all year this league. There's a few good people that I trust, and don't mind running with. But I mean, he got this guy, he got somebody blinking all night, and I mean, it's bad. Like popped through the hood a couple times, and then just kept driving through me. Got me a couple times. So hopefully it'll be the last time that happens. But I mean, it was a good run. We had a good car. I was hoping to finish somewhere top 5, something like that. Just cruise through the night. But yeah, it was definitely a bumpy one. But yeah,
certainly
not
looked like it was.
about
Lights are
that.
out on the pace car here. We'll move you back up here, maybe get you back out to finish out these last 20 laps. But best of luck to the number 54 out here this evening, as we just got a word with one of the drivers involved in that most recent contact yellow with Justin Osterman.
We did, and a big ol' accordion effect on the restart. Advantage Matt Semple. And Mike Miller, the 24, going to be running in second. Oh, look now, here comes the 77 that Tom was so fond to talk about a couple of restarts ago. That's Roy Hill. But Brad Holmes, a man on a mission involved in that last wreck, had to take that fast repair, has those fresh tires, has the fastest car this evening, but does he have enough time to get there? That is the question. Oh, into the wall for Roy Hill. That's going to cost him a position to the 21 of Paxton Frith, maybe even the 89 of Logan Spencer. Got some significant damage on the 77. That's going to open the door for Brad Holmes to start chasing down the 24 of Mike Miller now. This is going to be for P2, as 15 laps to go are on the board. Make it 14 at the line with Matt Semple, our race leader, looking to make it 4 in a row in which he has participated. He is just gotta keep running away from that 00.
So if Brad Holmes is going to have a shot at Matt Semple here, he's got to get around Mike Miller this lap. There is no play around here, and he does get around Mike Miller. Now let's take a look at the lap time history between the 00 and the 8.
All right, let's get this up right here, and we're gonna have we got
Do -1 on that.
See.
There you go.
There we have it.
There you see the lap time history between Brad Holmes and Matt Semple. This time across the stripe, advantage to
Brad Holmes almost done. Matt Semple gets a loose.
Semple,
He's
your
gonna
race
go
leader.
around. Matt Semple under the pressure.
Lights stay green, and we are still green here with 10 laps remaining from tonight's event out here at Bristol. That's opened up the door for Brad Holmes to take the race lead. Got a second over second place Mike Miller.
Matt Semple still in third place. Even after that, field had gotten spread out enough that Matt Semple still on the podium as we run. But Brad Holmes has a big enough gap now where he can kind of chill. At the moment, Matt Semple going to have his hands full with Logan Spencer. Now, the 8 car's tires are going to be pretty fired up after that one. And he's going to have to try and cool those down, all while holding off the 89. He does have some damage, though, so that'll hinder his efforts for sure.
Yeah, as Brad Holmes now walks away, got about a 2-second lead over Mike Miller. Mike Miller had a quiet night out here tonight so far, up 7 spots. Actually, the biggest mover started 9th on the board out here tonight. Brad has improved 5 positions over his qualifying position, but biggest mover of tonight's race is Mike Miller. Don't believe we've seen Mike Miller in that number 24 get a podium out here on the CyberThunder broadcast network so far throughout their season. So Mike trying to have a solid run to finish out their round of 16.
He is, and closest battle on track right now is 3rd and 4th between Matt Semple, Logan Spencer, and it isn't particularly close as we wind down these final couple of laps. 4 to go for race leader Brad Holmes, who looked to have the race in control and then very suddenly looked to be on the ropes, but it all came to him. Didn't make the mistakes and found himself in the right place to be here at the end.
Next time by, Brad Holmes is going to see the popsicle sticks. 2 laps to go over Bristol Motor Speedway as he looks to pick up his first win of the round of 16 and carry the momentum into the Magic Mile next week at New Hampshire. But it's been all magic tonight for Brad Holmes here at the half mile here, Arie.
His white flag is out. 1 lap to go for Brad Holmes. Double in the 00. It's been a fair few weeks since we've seen him in victory lane, but tonight he is going to bring an end to the reign of Matt Semple in the 8. Brad Holmes, under the lights of Bristol, is your winner.
Mike Miller comes home in second place, followed by Matt Semple. Going to be your podium out here tonight. Logan Spencer comes across the line in 4th, and Paxton Frith going to be the top 5 as we begin to attempt to gather up the top 3 finishers out here tonight. I tell you what, I'm putting my running shoes on. We'll see if we can't grab your top 3.
All right, I've caught up with our 3rd place finisher, driver of the number 8 Lucas Chevy Camaro, Matt Semple, who came into this race hot off of winning the last 3 you'd participated in, but tonight it looked like a much different challenge for much of the night. You weren't really able to get up there and have control of the race until late, and then it all fell apart with around 10 laps to go. Walk us through your race, Matt.
Yeah, it was a lot different race here in the fall than the spring race, which was my first win in this league. So I couldn't figure out the balance of the car. I was really chewing the right front up. I tried, diamonding the corners, tried hugging the bottom, tried running the top. It just didn't seem to work out. I didn't have anything figured out tonight. So to come home 3rd, it's still a good day. And, obviously the wins from the last 2 races in this round locked in anyways, but it kind of stings a little bit from being so dominant in the spring when I won here. But yeah, it was a lot different. So I'm still happy with 3rd place. 3rd place is good.
3rd place is good indeed, and you were hot off of winning the last 3 races. You made it through the first round of the playoffs with ease. How are you feeling heading into the next 3 tracks on the schedule? Things are going to start to get a little bit tighter as the playoffs play on.
Yeah, it seems like Brad stepped his game up here. Same with Mike Miller, Mike Schaefer, Gary Miller. A lot of the guys have stepped up. So, I mean, I feel like there's going to be more tight battles and everything like that. I feel pretty confident going into New Hampshire. Can't remember off the top of my head, but we got New Hampshire, Kansas, and the Roval. So they're okay tracks for me. Just, gotta try and get good stage points and top 3 finishes, top 5 finishes, and I think we should be able to get through the next round pretty good.
Sounds like a plan to me. Well, I'm going to open up the floor to you, Matt, to anyone you want to give a shout out to. Thanks, and what have you for a job well done tonight.
Yeah, I'd like to thank my friends and family for watching, my wife for letting me do this, baby Margot for letting me do this too, I guess, and you guys for putting on the broadcast, Jaden for putting on the league. He does a great job with it. It's a great group of guys to race with, so yeah, thank you.
There we have it. Congratulations again. P3 finish for Matt Semple, and I believe Tom has caught up with a driver of the 24, Mike Miller.
Yeah, we got 2nd place finisher out here tonight, and that Ford Mustang, Mike Miller, coming home with the podium finish out here tonight. Mike, Tom, and Arie, how you doing?
Good, sir. How are you?
We're doing okay. Looked like a lot of drivers had their hands full out there tonight, but you're bringing that number 24 home with, dare I say, maybe not even a scratch on that number 24 car. Bring us through these last 250 laps. How was it?
It was wild. Pretty much nutrition. I did have to use my fetch pit earlier in stage 3, but recovered nicely, and we'll get this thing going.
Well, so now we're going to be going to 3 very different style of tracks. Obviously, this round we had Darlington, Gateway, and Bristol. Next round we got New Hampshire, Kansas, and the Roval. What's your plan to point yourself out of the round of 12 and looking forward down into the playoffs into the round of 8?
Survive New Hampshire. It's my worst track. Do good at the last 2.
Oh, there you go. Flat track at New Hampshire. Mike, we're going to be keeping an eye on you next week, see how you do. Maybe you get another top 3 finish, maybe another podium finish up here. But Mike, congratulations on a podium finish out here tonight. Going to open up the floor for anybody on the side of that really good looking 24 car. Anybody you want to thank, say hello to. The floor is all yours.
Well, thank you. Thanks to my wife for letting me do this. Soda Paints for painting this beautiful car. And my dad, Gary Miller, who was unable to finish, for hooking up with the setup for brakes and all that. That's about it. And our sponsors who put the show on the road for us every week.
All right. Well, Mike, we're going to go let you debrief on a great second place run. Biggest mover of the night is the number 24, Mike Miller. And Arie's got the big race winner out here tonight, Brad Holmes.
That I do. I've got race winner double in the 00, Brad Holmes in victory lane. Brad, you had this race under control for most of the night, and then as the chaos hit an all-time high, you found yourself coming down on pit road and kind of buried in the action behind. And towards the end, coming down to 10 laps to go, it looked like you were going to have a battle on your hands trying to chase down Matt, but the pressure got to him. Walk us through your race.
Yeah, it's obviously a really good initial out of the gate, winning both stages, which it almost looked like a carbon copy of the spring race. I did pretty well the same thing in the spring race, and then as we kind of got to the calamity, I was getting nervous because I know the 54 and the 8 were on fresh tires, and I didn't think mine were that bad. Matt and I were having some conversations on our team channel there, and I seemed to be able to save a lot more rubber than him on those longer runs in the first 2 stages, but I've always said, like right from the beginning, I'd rather be on offense than defense. So I made that hard left into pit road, and I can tell you with 15 to go, I was regretting it pretty bad, but it worked out in the end.
That it did. We were just eating the popcorn away while we were watching the decisions be made, whether you were on defense or offense. But you finally get a win in the playoffs here. You put an end to the Matt Semple reign of terror that has been the last handful of weeks, and we get ready to head into New Hampshire, Kansas, and the Charlotte Roval. How do you feel about the tracks coming up in the round of 12?
Definitely stressing about that Charlotte Roval. I think my track record on road courses kind of speaks for itself there. I think New Hampshire is going to be the wild card. We definitely haven't run it this year, obviously, and I don't know that there has been a lot of kind of testing going on around that. A lot of tracks similar to that, so I'm hoping to maybe sneak my way into one right out of the gate, so I don't have to stress and kind of just work through there. Kansas, Matt's always really good at Kansas. So is the 54. The 98's had some success there, so I'll be kind of circling that New Hampshire one, I think.
All right, sounds like a plan. Well, Brad Holmes, as our winner, I'm going to open up the floor to you to any shout-outs, thank yous, anything like that you want to give out after getting the job done under the lights in Bristol.
Yeah, shout out to you two for joining us every Wednesday night. It's always nice to go back and watch the broadcast, and you two offer a lot of insight. You know the storylines going on, you know the drivers, so it's always an awesome shout out to Supple Speedway, who I finally put in victory lane. It's where I work in real life. And shout out to C-Law Graphics, who designed the car for me. He unfortunately has had some stuff come up in his personal life and won't be able to make a run at the championship this year, but he's got a lot to be proud of this year, and this paint scheme is one of those things. So that's about it for me. Move on to the next round and start the stress all over again.
All right, sounds good to me. Well, there you have it. Congratulations again. Our race winner this evening at Bristol Motor Speedway, Brad Holmes, in the 00 double-double, gets it done. Tom, well, we witnessed quite the show tonight.
Yeah, we had a little bit of everything out here. We had tires, we had short track incidents, we had some short track tempers out here tonight from the last great Coliseum of Bristol Motor Speedway. But as Brad Holmes continues his burnouts down there at the start-finish line, he's going to be able to celebrate this win for about the next hour or so, and then all of his mindset and thoughts are going to be going to New Hampshire next week. But what do you say we get this race wrapped up out here tonight? Brad Holmes, Mike Miller, and Matt Semple, that's your podium finishers that we just spoke to out here tonight. Logan Spencer comes home in a solid 4th place finish. Paxton Frith is the top 5.
In 6th, Roy Hill III in the 77 car. We got Mike Schaefer in 7th, followed by Gary Miller coming home in 8th, ahead of Justin Osterman in 9th, and rounding out the top 10, Brennan Brody in the 98.
And Jaden Wicks, Christopher Pugliese, and a driver who could do no right out here tonight, Aiden Shrine in that number 87 car, got involved in almost every incident, not to his own doing. Rough night for those 3 drivers, 11th through 13th on the board, Arie.
That it was, and with that, we turn our attention away from Bristol and on to New Hampshire, a track where a lot of drivers seem to be unsure, seem to be a little uneasy, not knowing what to expect. And I think we're in for an interesting week because if I'm not mistaken, Tom, I think we got a couple New Hampshire races that we're going to be doing next week.
Yeah, all you're going to see next week on the CyberThunder Broadcast Network is the Magic Mile of New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Tuesday night, you and I are going to be live up here. Somebody's going to be getting the lobster in our Tuesday series. We will be live at 8 p.m. Eastern on Tuesday night. And then, as always, Arie, we get to do it again on next Wednesday night at the same track.
Sounds like a good plan to me. I think we'll have some valuable insight heading into the Wednesday race, having already watched one the day before. But after the chaos of tonight, I think the drivers are going to be ready for a track that's at least a little bit bigger.
I think they certainly will. Hey, if everybody enjoyed tonight's broadcast, make sure you click that subscribe button, click the like button, click the bell too while you're at it. Get notified every time we go live, Arie and I, up here on the CyberThunder Broadcast Network. We're bringing you all sorts of great racing here on the CyberThunder Broadcast Network. Arie, it was a lot of fun hanging out with you tonight, and great race behind us.
That it was a blast. I love Bristol, and it did not disappoint.
It did not, but Arie, let's go make our way out of Bristol here, and I'll meet you down at let's travel over to Nashville or something. I'll meet you at one of the bars down in Broadway down there.
Sounds good to me. I'm getting a little hungry.
All right, have a good night from Bristol Motor Speedway. Big winner out here tonight, Brad Holmes from Bristol and the Friggy Diggy Racing League. Thanks everybody for hanging out on a Wednesday night with us. We'll see you next week.